Motion to open February 22nd, 2022, Board of
Second.
Health meeting. We need to do a roll call vote. Mr. Maderas,
Robert Maderas.
Mr. Davinian?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm an aye, so we're open. We are being video and audio taped. Well, we don't have to because it'll be good. We are being audio and video taped, and we will go into the meeting. We have an appointment. First off, Mr. Manise regarding Lot 89. Is that correct?
Lakemont, yeah.
Yep.
Which is off of its road.
We have a request, I guess, from you.
Yes, I'd like to put a small trailer on it.
So first off, you're purchasing this.
Yes.
Oh, you've purchased it?
Yes.
You've already purchased it.
Well, it's in my lawyer's hand. As soon as I leave here, I can just tell him to put it through. But he's got all the deed, he's got everything. My lawyer's just gonna walk across the street from downtown, and it's all set. But he told me to come here and do the right things and talk to, find out what the bylaws are.
Your plan is to,
Put a small trailer up and go fishing.
okay.
And I'll be sleeping there every once in a while.
So it's not,
Seasonal.
it's not a buildable lot.
No, it's only 40 by 80.
There's no, I mean, we've talked about
So-
septics.
You know, with a trailer and all that, and anybody can put a trailer on their property, it's gotta be self-contained. You know, in other words, you can't put a permanent structure or a permanent trailer there and try to set up some kind of septic system and all of that. I mean, it has to be either pumped, well, you know, you have to figure out, take it out to have it dumped or whatever. But I don't see where there would be an issue or I don't think there's any kind of bylaw that states we can't allow somebody to have a trailer on their property. You know, a mobile trailer. I don't know how you guys feel.
As long as it's self-contained, no septic systems. I'm thinking about water too. I don't know about water.
Well, water's self-contained in a camper.
No, I mean having a well put in or whatever, shallow well or whatever. I don't know.
I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be policed up all the time.
It's gonna be what?
It's going to be cleaned up all the time.
Yes, oh yeah. I'm gonna
And
try to
from what
look my
I
neighbors.
read that on this sheet that we have here, I guess you signed it by a witness there.
Yep.
That it's going to be like for a recreational thing.
Yes.
It's for, I'm going to read it out. Knowledge that only use for land parcels shall be recreational purposes, camping, fishing, cookouts, and to have seasonal camper outside. Now, that's not going to allow them to have any porta-johns either, because that'll entail all kind of.
No, this is just to allow him to have his, pretty much like a camper.
Well, I'm going to go over it. That's the way he understands, and it's on film,
Right.
that this is what we're required from you. You know, the biggest thing that I think is important, that after you've had camping or a cookout or something, that the police will be picked up.
Yes.
I call it policed up,
Yes.
military, police it up, you know. Go
I
around, pick it
understand.
up.
I just didn't understand that language.
Yeah,
But yes, I'm taking the garbage away.
yeah. I mean, you can't
Have you
just let
approached
it.
the neighbors in that?
Yes.
You have?
Yes, I talked to Gamache,
Yeah.
well, the daughter. I ain't talked to Dawn yet, but she was very nice to me. She showed me all around, and she was very nice. Then I met. a
So
guy-
is that one close to
Right
where
there.
they live?
Yeah, right. It's Gamache.
It's Don's property.
Well, it's basically in his, his backyard. You know what I mean? But it's right there. And then I talked to Gary,
Gary. Yeah.
that owns the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I ain't giving you electricity because my son can't build a house here, and you ain't getting electricity, and you take a tree down from my property, I'm gonna sue you. And he's he was like that, but I told him I want electricity. I ain't gonna take no trees down.
No income out of this either, right? Like
No,
charging rent
this is for me,
for space for camping or whatever.
yes.
Just an understanding, this way we don't have a headache later on
No, I
through this
understand.
board or through the town of Acushnet that we're gonna have a headache
Jim sent
later
them
on.
up to us.
This is all being noted on
Jim sent them up to us.
there, and
That's
it's
really
gonna be
what
noted on screen here,
You know,
that, you know, we're
There's
going
nothing
over
that
this
we
with
can
you.
stop
If there's
them from
anything that we
doing
forget
If you guys
or
to
miss,
Anybody can-
you know, we
Anybody
would
can
notify
put
you on it, but I'm
camper
just trying to
on
go
their
over
property.
stuff, and the rest of us trying to go over
Can't
stuff
live there.
with you, that we're gonna have an understanding what we would expect out of you.
Yes.
Me, I don't have no problem with what you're trying to do.
Yes, it's like a dream come true
Yeah.
for me, because I've always wanted a campsite,
Yeah.
and not in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
10 minutes away, I only live 10 minutes away, I own a house.
Dave, you have any input on this?
No, I don't. I spoke with Joe about the proposal. Essentially, he's going to have a camper in the woods. I've been down there. There aren't any lawns over there. It's like you're in the woods. It's all pine trees. And as long as it's self-contained and properly maintained,
Right.
and we don't get complaints from the abutters, I support it. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
he has no problem.
I had it all surveyed too,
I don't know if you could hear him or not,
yes.
but he cranked it up a little bit, but it was interfering here.
But I had it all
How am I gonna hear
surveyed, so
it?
nobody, so everybody knows over there.
Okay.
that-
As long as we got everything crossed, the i's,
Yes,
T's
that's why I
crossed, the
met the
dots.
neighbors, I try to meet,
We're trying to just
the
make
right
sure
thing.
that there's no problem ahead of us. You know, we don't need any more problems
hopefully
what we
never
got.
see that
And
again,
the volume's off.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want it up a little louder.
Oh, up this one up a little bit.
That way I can hear Dave, that's all. 'Cause
Sorry.
I'm,
Tom's getting kinda old now, so he can't hear too
I'm a
good.
little deaf.
I mean, it's up at 72,
Loud.
I think.
Amplifiers in my ears.
I have to
And
turn
my
it down. Let's see.
Says I need a hearing aid.
Wait.
Dave, can you say something that we can hear you?
60.
Sure. I just
Okay,
put my stuff
that's-
on mute, but
That's
did you not
perfect.
hear what I said earlier?
No, we heard it.
We heard you, that's good.
I'm just a little deaf.
Okay.
Just wanted to hear you louder.
Okay, very good.
Tom's getting old, Tom's getting
Not
old,
old,
he
I
can't hear
can
out
go.
one, can't hear out the other, so he's doing all right.
Anyway, so, I mean, we can really make a motion,
I
but
can make a motion to accept the letter that was read and the
Yeah.
stipulations that we explained to him about. And if you want it in writing, we can give it to you in writing.
there's a motion, Dave.
David?
I'll second the motion.
And I'm for the motion. All in favor, we do need to do a roll call. vote.
Robert Maderas? Aye.
David DeVignan, aye.
And I'm an aye, so you are all set to go camping.
Oh, thank you,
Happy camping.
thank you.
All right, Mr. Manise.
Thank
You
you
have a
very
good
much.
evening.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to next is a letter from community nurse and home care stats, and this shows they didn't have any blood pressure clinics. I guess.
No, they haven't been doing much of that anymore because they're spending all their time on contact tracing, which I hope is over, just about at
How
the
did we
end.
make out on this last one that we just had? The testing at the elderly, excuse me.
And the fire significantly decreased. There's only like about 50, 60 people going now.
Yeah, I was talking to Jerry and he says it really came down quite a bit.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
it was
I
like
went-
6
I went and got
positive.
tested also.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Yeah. So, I mean, it's, hopefully we're in an endemic now
Yeah.
instead of a pandemic. So.
Can we get a motion to accept the nurse?
Motion to accept the nurses as read.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Robert Maderas, aye.
Dave DeVignan, aye.
And I'm an aye. So voted. I don't like doing it like that, but that's how it goes. This is a letter from our new town administrator, Jamie Kelly. You've been informed that the Board of Selectmen are calling for a town meeting on Monday, May 9th, beginning at 7 PM. The deadline for submission of articles for approval by the Board of Selectmen is Friday, March 11th. Well, that's my birthday. By noon. I'll just keep that on file.
Motion to place on file.
Motion to place on file?
Yeah, I said it, motion to place on
I
file.
gotta get a second from
David?
I'll second the motion.
Roll call vote,
Robin Maderas, aye.
Dave Duvignon, aye.
and I'm an aye, so voted.
Just for clarification, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
you said town meeting is Monday, May 9th?
yes,
Okay, very good. Thank you.
7 PM.
Thank you.
What's that? Did you want to go to plans, or do you want to go to discussion? Why don't we go to discussion and we'll do the
Yeah.
plans last, is that okay?
Sure.
I can we do that?
18 Laura Keene Avenue, it's Timothy Bashon is requesting a 1-foot variance to the existing leaching field for construction of a 24 by 34-foot garage on a slab. I reviewed that. I don't see an issue. I don't know if anybody else has an issue with it, but he's gonna request it. I think it's 8 feet from the overdig. Is that correct?
No, it's 9 feet from the leaching field. It's close to the overdig. It's a 1-foot variance. Right?
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
It's on a-
basically 9 feet rather than 10 feet. It's a slab.
Yeah.
He submitted the garage plans
Yep.
to us. It's strictly a garage. There's no attic space
Right.
to it, or in the sense of
It's no big
something that
deal,
could be
1 foot.
used as another bedroom.
Make a motion to grant the 1-foot variance.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So voted, and we need a roll call vote,
Robin Maderas, aye.
Dave Duvignon, aye.
and I'm an aye. So voted. So next is a Public Health Excellent Grant, and I'm gonna let Joe just quickly,
Yep. So we continue moving forward with the grant with New Bedford and Fairhaven. We've gotten a intermunicipal agreement, basically a form or a template, if you will, of what this would look like in order to share our services with the 3 towns, well, the city and the 2 towns. This is something that needs to be, first looked at by you, and then secondly, we got to get it out to town council to review it. All the town councils obviously have to review it and come back with if there's any modifications or changes. So we just wanted to bring you up to speed on where we're at with the grant. There's also a memorandum of understanding here also, which is again just to make sure that it's all clearly spelled out how the communities are going to work together and what their expectations are. It's through the grant, like I've said before, it's a $300,000 grant for 3 years. Each year it's $300 to invest in. Right now we're looking at a nurse, public health nurse. So
looks like
That'll
a
help out the
plan.
town some.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
don't
that,
Good, good, Tom.
that will be forwarded to town council for
Yep.
review?
Yeah, right. Wanted to get
Okay.
it to your meeting first, and then
Looks pretty good to me.
Yep.
I'm not an attorney, so I,
this is most of the work as I've been informed. Most of the work, and this has been vetted by Copeland and Page. Most of this in other communities of Massachusetts that are under the same grant. So I don't really suspect that there's going to be any pushback. But I mean, again, we'll just have to wait and see. I know Copeland and Page, a lot of the communities have in Massachusetts, but I know Fairhaven doesn't have Copeland and Page, and
Yeah.
and I also know that the city has Copeland and Page. So we'll see as it all goes through. Again, it's in its infancy. We're working towards, hopefully a much,
yeah, because Haven has their own local lawyers.
yeah, a little bit better ability
I
to
don't see
service.
nothing wrong with it, Joe. I think it's gonna do good for us, to help us out, tax-wise, getting the nurse
Yeah.
on by and
No, anything's a plus.
tackle some of the stuff that our taxpayers would have to pay.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. Too bad we could get all the money for it, but
Well, we're gonna.
don't mind sharing a little bit.
We'll
you know.
keep seeing what
A
happens.
little bit better than nothing.
Yep. I mean, we'll
We
keep
make a
going.
motion to accept this, Tom, or?
I think we need to make a motion to forward it to town
Yeah.
council, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we need a motion.
Motion to forward this to the town council for review.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So voted, we do a roll call vote,
Rob Maderas, aye.
Dave DeVignan, aye.
and I'm an aye, so voted. Next on the agenda is late fees regarding the permits.
Yeah. I brought this up before. We have a full board. It really is just to move forward if the board chooses to move forward on, setting a late fee up when we do not receive our permits by January 1st. We work really hard, Wanda works really hard to get these applications, and there's quite a few of them out to the people ahead of time. And all we ask for is to get them back by January 1st, so we don't have to start chasing them. And unfortunately, some people we have to chase, they forget, otherwise try to forget. I don't know what goes on, but sometimes it goes months for us to try to renew it. We have businesses that are operating and they're not licensed, just because they chose to be a little.
Do we have many late fees now?
We have no late fee.
Oh, that's good.
That's the reason why I want to, so we have to go through the advertising and the fee change.
No, but I think,
Do
do we have anybody that hasn't? How
some of
many haven't?
Few stables,
Yeah.
few garbage people, but we heard that they sold.
Yeah.
Food
Alright.
people.
Yeah, but we're also coming into the end of February, and we did have quite a few people come in. So it's just a way to, move things along,
Right.
and then come up with a number. I mean, my number is $100 to make it, concerning, so people actually
Right.
do it.
So they,
That way they come in and pay it on time.
Right, that's all we ask. If not, then we send out the application again with the late fee, and now it's $100 more. Most communities, it's not something that most communities don't have, and we're just looking for a little respect. We do our job,
There you go.
it
Nothing wrong
makes
with that.
more effort. We
I
have.
mean, that's taking her away from doing something else.
Exactly. And then we're chasing, and we have to remember, and we have to make sure that we're paying attention all the time to all of this instead of just getting it all paid.
I don't have a problem with that. It's up to my two colleagues.
do you have to, don't we have to advertise to do that?
Yeah, we'd have to change the fees.
I don't know, I didn't, I'll hear from Mr. DeVinion's, his opinion on it.
My only comment would be that people have a right to appeal it's sort of going to be a fine. So just have some language in there. If they want to appeal to the board for some extenuating circumstance, they can.
Right,
Otherwise, I support the late fee structure that Joe's proposing.
okay.
Now, would that have to be in a letter form, David? If they're appealing it, should be, right?
I'm sorry?
If they're appealing anything like that, shouldn't that be in a letter form? They write a letter to the board?
Yes, it should be, there should be criteria, a template set up similar to a convenience store appealing a tobacco fine.
Right.
That they have to respond within 14 days. I'm just making stuff up now of getting the notice, and we'd schedule a hearing within 14 days, and our word is final, our decision's final. And I don't know, something like that.
Right.
People should always have an out, because you never know what goes on in today's COVID world.
Yeah, we'll get something written up, and we can review it again.
Yeah, really, it's just for the board to vote for me to move
But
forward.
it's always
Right.
good to have them, on an appeal case, to do it in writing.
Yep, absolutely. I would
Like
make them.
when I used to do restaurants, and I used to say, if you're appealing my decision, I want it in writing.
Yeah, most definitely.
If they bring it in typed, we don't accept it. Because you exactly say in writing, okay?
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll work on moving forward with it, you know, over the course of the, you know, and we don't need to have this in place until, you know, November. You know,
Right, so
so
we
we'll
just-
just work on it and we'll make sure we get it right. And then we'll advertise it and do the fee change.
So
if
just
you're
have a-
running- If you're running a business, Joe, you have to have a permit to run.
Mhm.
Without your permit, you should be closed.
So can we get a motion to
Motion
let
to,
Joe go forward with it and he
Yes.
can get back to us at a later meeting?
motion for Joe to write up something for us, we'll overlook it, look at it. Any corrections, we can make corrections on it,
Yeah.
and we'll send it out to the people.
Motion.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
All right,
So voted. We need a roll call.
Robert Maderas, aye?
Dave Dugan, aye.
And I'm an aye. So voted. And now we will allow Mr. Hannon to discuss air monitor grant.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Hi, Pat.
I don't bet.
Good.
Good. I'd like to share my screen if I can. Looks like I can.
Yeah.
Are you seeing an air
Yes.
monitor?
Yep.
Yep. So this is what the air monitor looks like. It's like the size of an oil filter.
What is it?
See it?
And it uses lasers to measure the particulate. It has a fan in it that actually draws air through it and pushes air through it. The interesting part about it is that it connects to this map. And this is an interactive map for purple air. And you see these two green dots here with the 2 and the 0 on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 micrograms per cubic foot of air that this is detecting for particulates smaller than 2.5 microns. And this one's detecting nothing. 0 doesn't mean that it's broken. It just means that there's no particulate in the air in that spot. I got the monitors in about a week and a half ago. They didn't come with a lot of information. I took one home and programmed it and figured out how to use it. And this button you see here with 63 is how much particulate matter is in the air where I live. And if you click on the button where the air sensor is, there's actually a pop-up that tells you that the air quality is acceptable, but there may be a risk for people with a 24-hour exposure. And this is based on the air quality index set by EPA. On the left side of the screen, there's a chart here, and you can actually go and get the actual times and spikes. So this 63 is an average of the particulate in the air every 10 minutes. But on the chart on the left, you can see that at my house it actually went up to 100. And I don't know military time, but at 23:40 today, mine was 100 micrograms per cubic foot. So Chris Hendricks, the state rep, was instrumental in getting this done for us. I was a little embarrassed to find out just how big a network this was all over the country, and that it's been around for over a year, and we could have really benefited from these machines a year ago when we were getting all the dust complaints in town. So we have 8 of them. I have six spots that have agreed to put them up for a year. We have to keep them up for a year for the sensors to be a free grant. We get to keep them after that. Some people are reluctant to have air quality information around their house going to the government. This information does go to EPA, and they do maintain all of that information. I did learn that EPA will not take any action, or DEP won't take any action based on readings here. This is really for either the person who owns the sensor, or in our case, for the Board of Health, to be able to monitor air quality in general in the town of Acushnet. If people go to the purpleair.com page and go to their frequently asked questions, there's a great explanation on how all of this works. It was a little tricky to set up, and when I set this up, I realized that if you zoomed in on the map, that if you zoomed in enough, it would actually disclose the exact location of where it is. And I think that some people would be hesitant to disclose, their actual addresses on a public map. But when you set it up, you can actually drag, this is called a widget, you can drag that widget to another spot so that it doesn't show your exact location. Other than that, it's pretty plug and play. It works off of Wi-Fi. It draws a half a watt of power, which is less than charging the cell phone. And they've been out for a few years, and they're very reliable. Mm-hmm. I think we need to put some more out to get a better idea of air quality in downtown Acushnet and some other spots. I've talked to the Conservation Commission about requiring these for our solar field projects so that we can monitor dust during the construction and after the sites have been stabilized, and they thought that was a good idea. It turns out they're not expensive. They're $259 or $269. So a pretty small investment compared to what we spent just recently to rent those 3M monitors. Now, these don't record dust in the same manner that EPA records dust for air quality investigations. That would require a machine like we have out now. Requires daily calibration, filters being brought to a laboratory and being weighed and analyzed. But this is a great way to pinpoint a problem area or a problem solar field project and use that to require bringing in a more sophisticated unit and doing the actual weighted measures and all of those. So the data is valuable. It does mean something.
I'm at a meeting now.
And
the sounds in my ear.
Can you mute there, Karen?
Oh, sorry, Dave. Sorry about that, Pat.
No problem. I do the same thing. So I talked to Joe about trying to get some money to get some more and put some on a few town buildings and go from there.
Okay. It's
I've got one question, Joe.
Moving forward, anyway.
That's the Pat too.
Yep.
These farms that putting in solar panels and stuff that they're going to be working summertime putting up. Are we going to put any dust monitors around them places?
Yeah. So I talked to the Conservation Commission about requiring that, and we are going to require that.
Okay.
But it would be nice to get for the Board of Health to own some of our own sensors and get some additional monitors out there and increase our network. I mean, you're looking at the number at my house right now. I have an Amazon warehouse being built a half a mile from my house that's disturbed 25 acres of land, and I believe that that's where that comes from. And if you go back down to Acushnet, things look really good down there. So it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And the type of dust that these measure is invisible dust. You can't see it. It's respirable dust. It's what does cause health issues, and it's a serious situation.
Can these monitors be placed in buildings too?
So they do make an indoor unit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the map, but my mouse doesn't want to cooperate.
That's all right.
They do make an indoor unit.
I'm just concerned. Sometimes we have problems with buildings that have dust problems. If we say this Parting Way building is an old building here, maybe we could test the monitoring of the dust particulates in a building like this, or the town hall.
So
wherever maybe we can make things better for the environment for the people that work in it too.
So Purple Air tells you to set up the machine in your house and connect it to Wi-Fi in your house and then bring it outside and set it up. And I'm a little embarrassed to tell you that the dust levels were higher in my living room than they were outside my living room.
Yeah, because you got a cat.
I got a cat and a dog and forced hot water heat, but still, it brought to my attention just how much respirable dust there is even in your house. I have asthma, and everybody's always coughing and hacking. So maybe it's time for a humidifier in the house, and you wouldn't know that unless you saw this.
That's something good. I would like to, if possible, if we could get some kind of a grant in, or if we have monies to buy it, maybe a couple of them, and like place them in schools.
Yeah, well,
See how the dust situation is in the school. Because we had problems when they were building the school, right, Tom? That the ventilation wasn't being properly cleaned, and we can always set them up in the school and making sure that these kids are getting proper ventilation and the faculty is getting proper ventilation. Because we had that whole school shut right up, right? Because they weren't cleaning properly, and we made them clean properly. You know, so I think that'd be a good idea if we could get a couple of them just to place in our own.
We'll start looking
For our people,
for a
our
funding
people that
source.
work in the town, it's good, for our own kids.
We could
And
look
the
for more
faculty?
funding to try to purchase.
See if we can get some
Some more
funds to
units.
get a few of them in for us, strictly for the town use,
Yep.
I talked to Joe, and Joe thought we did have some money that we could dip into to do this.
Yeah, because they're very inexpensive.
It's been a real eye opener. I'll zoom out on the map a little bit, and you'll get an idea of just how many monitors, other than in the South Coast,
Yeah, how many we don't have.
there really are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
I know there's a lot on the
as
case.
you zoom in a little bit, they all pull together. But there's thousands of these things all across the country.
But
Wow.
not much around here.
Not much here. It's amazing. But everywhere where south and west of here, there's a lot in Connecticut, a lot in New York. All of our DEP regional offices have them. EPA has them, and you can click on it, and it tells you who it is. So this one, they put Homestead Avenue in Rehoboth. Ours say Acushnet Board of Health 1 through 8. I didn't want to have people have to put their names on them and put their name on the map. And I made a spreadsheet and put their names on the spreadsheet of who got 1 through 8. And that's the best way to keep that private. But for $259 or $69, we can't go wrong.
No.
And it's a hell of a lot better than writing the date in the dust on your windshield, like Deb, Boselbeck has had to do for the last year and a half.
How long does it take to get them, Pat?
Less than a week.
Oh, that's even better.
So, but if
Get on
it wasn't for Chris Hendricks, we would not have known about this. And I think it would be nice if the Board of Health could write him a letter
Okay,
and
we can do
and
that.
recognize that they did this for us, because more importantly, they put it on our radar screen, and they led us to a good tool.
Yep,
Very good.
that's good. Did a good job.
Thank you, Pat.
All right,
Appreciate
and
it.
I will unshare my screen here.
Anybody have any comments?
No, sounds all good to me. I like to get
So
some for us.
why don't we just make a motion
There you go.
to move forward with monitoring?
Motion to move forward with monitoring of the town.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Ron Madero's
So-
aye.
Dave DeVegna and I.
And I'm an aye, so voted. We will go forward with monitoring.
And we're gonna have Joe look into, see if he can get some monies to buy some for the
Purchase
town.
more, yeah.
For town use only,
Mhm.
for the facilities.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no problem with
All
that.
right. Next is,
Could I interject on that?
yeah, sure.
Well, that being said about the air monitors in the program you guys are gonna put in place, I'm concerned about the materials that we're being exposed to, and would like to know at some point if we could get, the public at large could get some information from Keating through the board as to what those materials contain. I mean, it seems to be a big secret, and I'm at wit's end. I've tried to get the information, and they slammed the door in my face, and you know, every company that manufactures a product has to have SDS documents that dictate any toxicity in their product. And I'm curious, is it possible that could be put on the agenda and brought forth at some point?
I would rather put it on the agenda
No,
at
I
a further
understand.
meeting
No, I
and
understand.
just discuss that with town council,
Right?
and then we could possibly set up some type of a meeting
Because
with,
there's multiple
PJ
hazards there that
Oh, I'm
we're
sure.
being
But-
exposed to.
that's like I said before, I mean, I would rather discuss that
Understood.
with, and I wouldn't really want to go any further than that this evening,
Right.
but we'll definitely look into having something prepared through town council, so if you can make a note of that, Joe?
Yep.
And we can
Yeah, I'd like
speak
to formally
with them,
request that, you know,
and
at
that
some
way,
point it-
we can get together again
I-
and find out exactly
I
what's
mean,
going
I
on.
think we have every right
Oh, yeah,
to know.
I agree. So, let me work on that.
Okay,
Okay?
it's appreciated.
Dave, any comments on that?
No, I respect the man's request. I think we ought to look into it.
Yep.
Thank you.
We got Joe looking into that. All right, next on the agenda will be septic plans. I've reviewed septic plans. I don't know if you did, Bob?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can we do the minutes? I'm not sure how long I can last. I have I have another
Okay.
engagement at 6:30.
Are you all set with plans? Because I reviewed the plans, so. If-
Yeah, I don't have any issues with any of the plans.
You're
I'll
good?
look them over. Those are
So
fine.
let's go
The one that I
real
got.
quick. Why don't we accept 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be 11 Brookside Drive, 280 Main Street, map 12, lot 11G, and 115 Manchester Lane. If we can accept all those plans as specified, can I get a motion?
Motion to accept, as read.
A second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Rob Maderis, aye.
Dave Vic and I.
I'm an aye, so voted. So the plans are approved. And the minutes would be next. And we just need a motion to accept the minutes as read.
I make a motion to accept the minutes that I was at.
Where's your?
So this one, she's got them all in a line there. So everybody was at that meeting. January 11th, October 14th, November 6th, and November 30th.
I got them in there.
So everybody's got to vote on that one.
On the first one.
But there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 of them there.
I see 3. 1. Oh, no, these 2, okay. All right, so January 11th, October 14th, and November 6th, everyone was present, so we need a motion to accept.
Motion to accept minutes as read.
And November 30th.
You forgot November 30th,
I got
Mr.
it,
Chairman.
yep,
Yep.
November 30th also.
And they're all 2021. We should make
Yes.
note of that.
Yes.
And we were all present at each one of those, so we've got a
If
motion.
that's the motion to accept all 4 dates, I'll second the motion.
Rob Maderis, aye.
We can get a aye on that,
Dave Devigan and I.
and I'm an aye, so voted. The other 2 were just Dave and I. January
I'll make a
25th.
motion, Mr. Chairman, to accept the minutes of January 25th, 2021, March 1, 2021, and October 26, 2021.
And I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Dave Devigan, yes.
And I'm a yes, so voted. And then the last 2 would be July 19th, 2021, December 21st, 2021 would be Dave and Bob. So
Motion to accept December 21st, 2021.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Motion to accept December 21st, 2021,
and
And-
and July 9th.
and July 19th.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So
Robert Morris, aye.
Dave DeVig and I.
So voted. That brings us to the end of the meeting.
To the end.
All right.
We got, March is open for a date,
I got the calendar.
22nd.
March
Is there a motion
22nd.
to adjourn?
We're just doing the next
Wait a minute,
meeting,
Dave.
March 22nd. For now,
Oh, sorry.
we can do the March 22nd, Dave?
I'm checking my calendar. That looks good for me.
Okay.
What time, 5:30?
5 o'clock.
Come on, Tom.
Whatever you guys want.
All right. We're good.
5:30.
I'll need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Robert Morris, aye.
Dave DeVig and I.
And I'm an aye, so we are now adjourned.